Hello, welcome to Happy Healthy Hormone Hour with Dr. Shira Raisen. I'm an expert in hormones and nutrition and how to feel optimal in your body, mind, and spirit. A lot of patients and people have been asking me about sexuality, so I wanted to give a little preview or overview, I should say, to men and women's sexuality. Now I have a handout, but it's going to show it backwards, so if you want it, email me and I'll send you a copy. Basically, the overview of men and women's sexuality is you have desire, and then you have performance. So one thing about desire is there is a lot about feeling libido and desirous to have sex and to be intimate with another. A lot of that is in our heads, is psychology and emotion. And also, though, some type of drugs and things can affect it. For instance, alcohol. People may have experienced alcohol can make you feel more sexy or in desiring sex or libidinous. But as the famous bard Shakespeare said in Macbeth, drink, meaning alcohol, drink increases the desire, but decreases the performance. So erectile function for men isn't going to work as well if they're drunk. It's the bottom line. So libido is definitely interesting. And definitely in women who are perimenopausal or postmenopausal, I see that estradiol, when I supplement them with some bioidentical estradiol, their libido comes back and they're very interested in sex and intimacy and all that with their partner or with someone new. Men, somewhat the same thing. If their testosterone is really low or at the low end, that will help too. So libido, but it has a lot of emotional, psychological overlay to it. Now let's talk about performance. So what happens in performance? For men, we're talking about sexual intercourse. Men need erectile function. And women also need arousal. For women, how men get blood flow to the penis to make it erect, women need blood flow to the whole vaginal pelvic area to get that area all ready and aroused. So we were taught a mnemonic in medical school, and it was point and shoot. So point is kind of obvious, kind of like a man's erection is pointing. Shooting is orgasm. So kind of crude, but you're a medical student. What else have you got to do but to be crude? And the parasympathetic nervous system, which is actually a relaxed type of nervous system, is the part of our nervous system that helps us for men, make erections. And the orgasm is actually sympathetic nervous system. So there's the P for point, but also parasympathetic, and S for shoot, but also for sympathetic nervous system. So let's talk about the big V, Viagra. So what the heck is Viagra? So basically, a number of years ago, they were doing experiments to increase biochemical called nitric oxide that occurs in everybody, and to prolong it so that it would stay around longer and work almost like a hypertensive or to lower someone's blood pressure with high blood pressure. So, or in heart patients, cardiac patients. So they did this big research study, and the men in the research study said, well, I don't know about my blood pressure, but I've been getting these really, satisfying erections sometimes when I want them and sometimes when I don't want them. And they realized that the Viagra, which makes a man and a woman, but make more nitric oxide, that's really relaxes the blood vessels in the penis and the pelvic area and allows the erection to happen. So, and I'm not going to do any pictures of that. Go Google that yourself. But if you really want me to find pictures, let me know, and I will find some good science-y photos of that for you. So it was serendipitous. It was not a reason why they invented Viagra, but it's obviously become, I don't know, shall you say billion-dollar industry? Let's just pick a big number, a big millions-dollar industry. Women also need engorgement in that area, and Viagra doesn't work as well for women. However, I'll do a compounded medication for women from a compounding pharmacy, which is a mixture of a cream, and it has some testosterone, some menthol, and some Viagra. and they can put it in the whole vaginal area before, like, anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour before they want to engage in sexual activity, and it will help the blood flow and the arousal part of their sex life. So other important hormones and neurotransmitters. So women cycle with their female hormones, estradiol, and when I replace it for women in a cycling dose, that's the best way that it helps their libido and their sexual arousal and performance. A lot of women in perimenopause and menopause get different, dryness down there that does not feel good on any which way. And so using this rotating estradiol, I like creams for my patients, will prevent that from happening and will make them enjoy their sex lives again. And for men, people don't know this, but men have a rotating levels of testosterone throughout the month as well as seasonal. And, late autumn is rutting season. In some mammals, and men are kind of like that too. That's the highest levels of testosterone they make naturally in the year is during the end of fall season. So oxytocin, who knows about oxytocin? So oxytocin is the cuddling hormone or the love hormone. So sometimes people who are very either asocial or just feeling really wound up, I can give them a compounded medication in a troche, which is a fancy word for lozenge, and they suck on it so the oxytocin gets absorbed in the mucosa in the mouth and goes to the brain and really helps them feel relaxed, feel loving, feel cuddly. It's also released after people have orgasms, and then that's part of the theory of why people bond after they have sex and feel all close and cuddly and intimate is the oxytocin hormone released from the brain. And then dopamine. So I want to quickly pan to behind me. That picture is an image in a microscope of a dopamine crystal. And why do I love the dopamine crystal? Because dopamine is the love hormone. It's the reward hormone. I'm sorry, calling it hormone, neurotransmitter. So it makes you happy and feel good when you're in that first throes of a relationship, a new love or a new sexual partner. You get a lot of dopamine released and you feel really good and life feels really happy and good. I want to mention, to make all your hormones naturally and make all your neurotransmitters, you need to eat protein. Choice either, vegan types of protein or animal protein. And, ideally organic, low fat types of protein. You want to just eat the grizzle off that T-bone. You want to eat some lean meat, maybe buffalo, bison, and definitely fish. I'm just looking at my notes. I want to make sure. I mentioned nitric oxide. We do have Viagra. So is there any natural way to improve our nitric oxide flow? So yes. So it's made from arginine, which is an amino acid. And also choline is important in this process too. So you want to look at foods, and you can look at, lists of and your different legumes, which are beans and lentils, and your different lean meats between your turkey, fish, bison, and just make sure that you're getting some arginine in there. But legumes are a good source. And then overall, if you're getting your protein in, you're getting your sleep in, because if you don't have enough sleep, what happens is you just mess up your human growth hormone and your cortisol, and then your body goes, oh my God, I need those, and it doesn't help you make your sex hormones at all. So in order to have a healthy sex life, you want to have libido and desire. And what libido might be helped by stuff like some of my patients use medical marijuana because I'm in California. Some of them use alcohol, but it's a trick because if you go too far on those, you're not going to be able to perform. And then performance, you need the arousal stage. And for both men and women, it's about blood flow. And I want to say something else about blood flow. If somebody has hypertension or peripheral vascular disease or diabetes or other things that are really affecting their blood flow system in the body, their arteries and their veins, they're might have trouble in the blood flow in their pelvis for men or women. And people with diabetes and heart disease often have a lot of erectile problems because the blood flow in the whole body isn't working. So I like working with my patients preventatively, so hopefully they don't get bad reactions or sequelae to diabetes or heart disease or hypertension. So again, we want to keep the blood vessels all healthy, which goes back to good diet and some exercise, and not overdoing things. And then we go for healthy orgasm. You probably, again, need to have the arousal stage and then some amount of relaxation and some amount of your estrogen and testosterone for sure. And when after orgasm, your brain should be able to make some wonderful oxytocin to make you feel relaxed and bonded to your loved one. So if you have any questions, you can, if you feel like it, you can put them on the YouTube channel comments, or you can contact me directly at drraisen.com. So that's DRRAISEN at DOCTORRAISEN.com. Again, I know this is backwards, but hey. And this has been your healthy, happy hormone hour with Dr. Raisen. And if you have questions about all your levels of your hormones, you should have your doctor check everything. And if they don't know how to do it, come in and we can do that for you. All right, take care.